the Nomad's back. I wired up the light switch and went to test it, and whoops, this came right out. Doesn't look like there's any damage on this. So I picked up this new switch from Jegs. In theory, you can put this right in here and it works. Turns out with the there's the old switch. Get the new switch installed. Oh, we try to install this the right way. Connect up the battery. Oh. The first electrification of this car. You gotta take joy in the small things. All right, Jane, hit the dimmer. Yes. There it is. There's the back. There's the front without the lens on it. So there it is with the new wire installed. Something I noticed when I was cleaning this up, this bezel has a style line in it. Even in the bezels, back in the 50s, they put styling into it. That's all you can say, 50s. So working on a turn signal here. This is the one that came with the car. And this is the housing for the blinker. And this housing is like way too big. So somewhere along the line, previous owner had ground out that hole, made bigger. So that's not gonna work. So I got this one on eBay. It's a nice shape. So we're gonna install this one instead. There it is, installed and actually working, as well as the other one. The old headlight's missing a prong, so we got a replacement. For the first time that I've owned this car, both headlights are now working. This instrument cluster was missing some of these light bulb receptacles, so I ordered some more, getting them installed with some fresh bulbs. Put in a new turn signal lever, turn all the lights on, didn't work. And it turns out that only 2 of these wires were actually connected to this piece right here. So, got a new one ordered. It's a quick update on using Velcro in these Bronco seats. I would consider this a failure.
Well, I would think you'd be used to failing by now.
Not that the stuff didn't lock to each other very well. The sticky stuff on here, not sticky enough to stick to that vinyl. Got this fiberglass board here. It's about 1/8 of an inch thick. And I took that out, removed all the vinyl and stuff on the inside. Took this tray set out. And then based on where the clip locations were in the seat, I drew up this template here and then transferred that template over here to the fiberglass, drilled out the holes. Then I put in these little punch pins here. And so my plan is to transfer this vinyl over to this and then push it into the clip locations on the back of the seat. All right, so there it is, all put together. It's snugged up really good. I think this might work. Since we're waiting for parts for the Nomad, i.e. the carburetor, I thought it'd be a good chance to take out all the seats and put some carbon in here in the Bronco. I mean, this is a clutch pedal shaft, and it broke. Thankfully, it was at work, broke in the parking lot, and so made sure both ends were drilled out. I'm gonna put a pin back in there, but I'm waiting for some bushings for that, and a boot that fits over it from the other side through that hole there. Parts arrived today. Got some bushings for the clutch rod, a boot for the clutch rod, turn signal harness for the Nomad, and a carburetor for the Nomad. So here's the boot we installed. Clutch rod and a pin to hold it in place. So you can see when it's new how squishy that is. Nice and flexible. In contrast, here's the old one. Very dry and brittle. Not good. There it is, carpet installed. We still have to try to find a little patch piece for the doghouse, for the shifter, the floor shifter. But yeah, it's looking pretty good. Not so much the back end. That's phase 2.
Want me to dump it out the road?
So we got the Nomad back from Natco Transmission in Bethel, Minnesota. And these guys did a really, really good job. Do you remember a time when the guys doing the work went above and beyond what was expected? You either. Do you remember that time?
Yeah, I remember those times. You whippersnapper.
Cameraman Jacob, who is that guy?
No, he came in with the studio audience.
Studio audience?
The one over there.
They're all leaving.
It's pretty boring.
There's a Nomad, the garage of shame. Why is it the garage of shame? Well, it's not completely enclosed, and it's typically where I put my cars that are in the worst condition, and that's the Nomad. Well, we're gonna try to change it up a little today. We're gonna swap out the carburetor and see if we can get this to idle, and maybe even drive. The new rebuilt carb with gaskets. So we swapped out the carburetor with a refurb unit, and that leaked like the Exxon Valdez. It did not start. We could not get it started with the other carburetor, and was just leaking gas everywhere. It's kind of dangerous, don't you think?
Sure.
I mean, if a spark came off of that battery and ignited that gas, it could have been... So we put the old one back on, adjusted some of these zinc linkages in here, was able to get it to idle, and we actually drove it down the street. So I talked to my cameraman. What are you, Jacob?
Yeah.
You're the cameraman apprentice to taking this for a ride down the road.
Oh, okay.
And the reason why is, you know, when it stalls out a mile away, it's nice to have somebody to talk to on the way back, right?
Yep.
It's moving. You know, it's about 100 degrees out, which here in Minnesota is pretty hot. right, there we go. Made it a mile away from the house and back. So say the radius is now safely a mile. It's got a lot of work to do. I think we're just gonna keep forging ahead with the electrical, figure out what that little winding is in the front. I'm guessing it's a bearing. That's it for this episode. Thanks for watching, and please click to subscribe. Even you, old timer. Yeah, maybe not. Get out of here.